Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna, and here basically we are discussing about the attraction part. And in attraction, basically we have discussed lots of things. Basically, we have discussed lots of things, and one of the basically part of attraction is basically the next generation can go, next generation can't go. So that's basically the particular groups basically they decide basically the particular person's next generation is supposed to go or not supposed to go. Next generation means next generation. Next generation by default, I have taken an example of next generation, right? That, for example, my generation is will go or not go. For that, basically, I had to do marriage. Then only basically the generation will go. Otherwise, basically, our generation will go. So that is basically next generation. So now, basically, here we are going to discuss that what actually next generation is. What actually the next generation is. First, basically, we will basically here basically we are going to start with assume that basically the earth planet basically just launched in the universe basically earth planet basically just launched in the universe means there is no god, nothing is basically there. There is no Shiv god, there is no Krishna god, there is no Ganpati, there is no Ayyappa Bhagavan. Basically nobody exists in this world basically, because these all are basically the god of earth planet basically. So now basically assume that earth planet does not exist. Earth planet got created. That time basically the satellite were also not there. Then basically how the Earth planet was basically getting control basically. How basically the Earth planet was basically getting control. He basically literally asked the question basically how basically the Earth planet was basically getting control. There was no one basically was existing. So he told that basically the land basically was there, and the set of basically that time basically the uh, that time basically he told that basically set of attraction basically was created. For example, one time entire sea basically was containing in the earth planet. Wherever basically you see that time basically everything basically it was sea water only. Then basically one person told that whenever basically you see the earth planet, that time one time basically it was only full of tree basically. Like this basically he basically described each and everything basically, and then basically he told that these all are basically the attraction basically of the earth planet. Like this basically the attraction object basically was created in the universe basically. So sea attraction is also there. So this all basically one of the basically the scientists basically told that basically we have done this all R&D basically, that we know basically one upon a time basically in earth planet basically only sea water was there. Once upon a time basically then the earth planet only mountain was there. Here basically the god basically does not exist here. God basically does not exist here, but the universe god basically are there always basically, who actually created the entire earth planet basically, who actually created the entire earth planet. But god is basically god basically, you can't compare the god with basically any of the objects basically. If you say that basically god is equal to planet, then also it would be correct 100%. So like this basically he told that the earth planet basically like this, assume that like this around 300 300 more than 300 attraction object basically was created. Tree was there, mountain was there, sea water was there, then full of human souls was there. Then basically the iron was there, gold was there, then steel was there, tamba was there. Like this basically entire world basically was circulating with these little objects basically. So like this basically the attraction object basically was created. Like this basically the satellite group says that basically we have used this Harvard University, sorry, the 3000 University basically as an object basically, as an attraction object. So university basically has created from cements, waters, steels, iron. So these all are basically attracted long before basically. Then only basically it's attracting the areas basically, attracting the objects basically. Long before basically this was mapped basically. Then basically one person told that basically you have any proof that this basically all things basically was attracted long before. Then basically he told that take any of the objects basically which basically is created from the earth, from the human basically, human, from the human body basically energy, and use that as an attraction object. Just use basically the satellite basically mostly basically will not capture the attraction basically, but human body basically contains iron, human body basically contains water, so due to that basically it will get attracted. Few things basically will not get attracted. So like these things are also basically there basically. So the earth planet says that basically the we basically have created long before the attraction object, and after that only the basically attraction object is basically getting created. That's why basically the satellites are basically attracting the objects. Satellites are basically attracting the objects. Like this basically only the satellites are basically attracting the objects. So like this basically it's about the attraction object also basically you can say. So like this one person told that इसका जनरेशन आगे जाना चाहिए या नहीं जाना चाहिए, इन हिंदी बेसिकली इज आस्क्ड. Then basically he told that basically directly he basically one person basically asked a Bollywood group basically इसका जनरेशन आगे जाना चाहिए या नहीं जाना चाहिए. Then one person told that basically we need to think a lot basically up to what level he is connected, he has done any damage or not in any of the area, he basically is connected with universe group or not. Then only basically we can take the decision. Then only basically we can take the decision. Blindly basically we can't take the decision basically that his generation we are going to end. Like this basically his generation basically we are going to end. Like this basically we can't do directly. One of the basically Bollywood person told that basically we will directly end his generation basically. What do you say? Then he told basically it would be risk basically. In future, then that person basically we will leave Mumbai basically after finishing his generation. Then basically what about this? Then basically he told yeah that's fine basically. Then in future basically any risk basically comes, then they are not in Mumbai. Like this basically we will finish his generation also, and then basically we basically will not exist in the Mumbai also. So how is this basically? Then he told that basically oh that's great stuff basically you have done, but this is basically risk, right? You have taken. Yeah, it's a risk basically, but we got the order that his generation has to end, so we have to do the task. We got the order from high command, so basically we have to end his generation basically. So like this basically his generation ended. So like this basically who basically decides that this person basically generation has to end, and this person basically generation not is supposed to end. Thereby without basically directly they don't end the generation, right? Directly basically they don't end the generation. Directly basically they don't end the generation, right? Generation end means he basically can't do the marriage. If he will basically in future basically if he will do the marriage also, then also basically he will not get the birth, he will not able to get the child also. Like this basically he will not able to consume the basically if he will basically do the marriage, then also basically he will not get the child. Like this basically they've literally basically done the stuff, and they basically were tracking also basically whether he's married has done or not. If marriage has done, then basically the child is happening or not. This each and everything basically were checking, because they have basically told that we basically has fired. So basically we need to check basically in future basically if he creates problem, then basically it will be big issue basically. That also basically was basically checked basically. So like this, the next generation supposed to be happen, next generation is not supposed to be happen. That actually the topic basically is ongoing. And here basically we were discussing that when the earth planet was completely not started also, human basically was also not existing. That time basically the earth planet basically was containing full of sea, full of water, full of trees, full of mountains. Like this basically the attraction objects basically was created. Like this basically the attraction object basically was created. Like this the attraction object basically was created. Like this the attraction object basically was created. After that only basically the satellite was able to, satellite group basically is telling that basically we basically can attract this object. We can attract this 3000 university. We can attract this sea water. We can attract this human bodies basically. Few basically bodies are also very powerful basically. Few basically bodies are also basically powerful. Their bodies are basically getting attracted, and on the base of that, basically the satellite groups basically know that this is basically Earth planet, and few basically people have given treated them as a god also basically, that he is a god basically, because his body is basically getting attracted on the in the satellite basically. That's why basically we are able to know that this is Earth planet. So just see basically up to what level the things basically are created, and this everything is basically done. Also. This basically everything is created also basically. So this is also basically one of the part of the attraction. In next part basically we are going to see basically what actually the attraction is, and how basically one person group basically, or basically one entire city basically, and entire country basically, entire nationality, entire Earth planet basically decides that this person basically generation is supposed to go to next, or basically his generation is not supposed to go next.